Hello. I believe that we are. Yes, we are. We are live. Welcome back. We're about to hop into the third and also the final game of the evening. But before we do so, as always, we are going to take a moment to introduce our characters, as we are moving into an adventure called the Trial of Bartholomew. And actually, before we even introduce our characters, I would like to take a moment to set the current scene, so you understand the context in which you are all standing right now. Um, where we begin, the four of you are standing directly in front of the courthouse. You arrived here, of course, thanks to Philip Q. Janglebones' planar shift, and, well, along with the countless other adventurers from Bartholomew's adventuring troupe, ran off across the salt flats, where heavy resistance was met by the various nightmares. You watched around you as your allies just collapsed, were taken into these odd spaces, and on the whole, it would seem that, well, the Nightmare Court has done everything in its power to stop the collective of Bartholomew's adventurers from arriving and interrupting this trial in any way. Of the whole of Bartholomew's adventuring troupe, the four of you, relative beginners, are the ones that now stand in front of the courthouse first. Um, Time is of the essence, and it does not look like you will have too long. Well, backup will arrive, but by then the critical moment may have already passed, which means that uh, as we introduce you, I'm just curious kind of how all of you are feeling being cast into this situation that is, you are all very acutely aware, definitely above your particular pay grade. Sparkfang, the Bronze Dragonborn Ranger, how are you doing?
It seems I drank a little too much nectar last night. As he looks around, it's like, this is one of my worst nightmares.
Yes, this may very well be your nightmare. Perhaps that's why you got by, is because they knew that, well, this would be what you didn't want. And Sparkfang, um, tell me a little bit about yourself. Of course, you are a brand new recruit to Bartholomew's shop. I imagine this isn't where you thought you'd begin.
Uh, this is definitely not where I thought I would begin. Well, I hail from the border of the Trash Kingdom. I wander its edges, keeping the trash nicely piled along its edge and protecting the wildlife around there
Very good.
from the
Very
trash
organized.
that falls.
Protecting the wildlife from the trash.
That falls. And then putting that trash back and making sure that it stays there.
Oh, but of course. And Sparkfang, any other kind of what kind of skills do you bring to the table? What are your kind of abilities as an adventurer?
I'm a ranger. It was my chosen profession when I was a hatchling. So,
Do you favor the bow, or are you more of the sword?
I'm mixed.
Very well. Sparkfang, best of luck.
I shall have to deal with this nightmare sooner or later.
Next up, we have Samuel Short, nickname Rest. Samuel, how do you like to be referred to?
Oh, now, we're all friends here. Most people call me Samuel, but friends call me Short. We're all friends here, so Short seems more appropriate now.
Short. Um, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and, well, how you also, as a brand new recruit amongst Bartholomew's adventuring troupe, feel about being flung into this situation that you now find yourself?
Well, now, I must say, I've spent a bit of time out on the frontier, seen a few of Bartholomew's troop come through now and again, and I must say, all my time never seen quite fine warriors as them. Thought I'd join up, and can't imagine that I'd have, well, such a serious, soon, and intense mission as this, but I ain't one to complain now.
Um, well, Samuel, you seem very cheerful despite the kind of position that you're in.
Oh, come now. The only thing you fear about nightmares is having to wash your sheets when you wake up. And I've never been one to sweat much.
Short, that that kind of positive attitude, I think, is going to be something that you're all going to desperately need. Welcome. And
Good to be here, Mr. Pete. Good to be here.
next up, we have Mavek Redstring. Mavek, welcome.
Well, shit.
That's what I was going to ask, is how you doing, Mavek?
I don't actually know how I got here. Super drunk last night, and I just kind of woke up and this fucking
Yeah, there's just
nightmare realm full of shit happened.
Yeah, just a parade of people walking around. There was running. There was all these weird nightmares and stuff. And all of a sudden, you're just in front of the courthouse, Mavek.
They caught me for various illegal substances.
Well, Mavek, you of course are a bard. What is your kind of instrument or performance art of choice?
Jacks.
Did you say jacks? Mavek?
Like an electric guitar axe.
Oh,
Not like an axe,
I
an
thought you
electric
said-
guitar axe.
Yes. You threw me for a loop there, Mavek. I'm not familiar with all this lingo, but of course, as a bard, it's natural that you would refer to it as such.
Yeah, but I am quite linguistically skilled in the acts of bardage.
But I mean, of course. Mavek, how do you think you'll be faring in the upcoming moments? You think you're ready?
Pretty
Are
awfully.
you sobered up enough, do you think?
How do you define sober?
Well, actually, let me rephrase. Are you drunk enough?
I think I quite am.
Yeah, you may have, maybe some more may be required. But Mavek, welcome and best of luck. And last, but of course not least, we have slightly more veteran than everyone else. We have Sunny. Welcome, Sunny.
Hey, nice to be here.
Sunny, how did you dodge all of the chaos and find yourself here at the front of the pack?
I just kind of walked right in.
Yeah, it was just kind of like walking through a pleasant field.
Oh, absolutely.
As explosions to your right and left, strange creatures emerging all around you, with each sword swing just a little bit off of Sunny as you marched very freely and kind of whimsically up to the front. How are you feeling, Sunny? Are you feeling confident?
Oh, absolutely. Happy as ever.
Again, I'm really glad to see that in this face of this danger, that you can maintain this incredibly, well, pardon the joke, but sunny disposition.
Oh, no joke intended. It's not really that bad. You think this is bad? You should see whenever I have to make, fertilizer.
Oh dear. Well, Sunny, you have such an interesting mix of positive attitude and terror. But, Sunny, welcome back, and I wish you the best of luck tonight.
Oh, thank you.
And very well, as I mentioned, you stand on the precipice of the courthouse. What do all of you do?
You're starting to go in first.
You're going to just kind of step up before you.
Oh, no, I'm saying Sonny should go in first.
Oh,
I thought
sure.
you said I'm going to go in first.
Because you're the most experienced here. Just let the plan go in first.
All right, Sunny, do you step up to the doors?
Yep.
All right. As you kind of walk up to the old courthouse, you, with a heavy kind of and slow groan, you push the doors open, and before you, you can see a fairly simple-looking, well, not simple. It's simple in its design, but elegant and large. As standing before you is a massive hallway. At the end of it, there are two more, much larger oaken doors, presumably leading into the courtroom itself. On kind of either side of that door, you can see stairways leading up to what looks like a second floor, perhaps a balcony, and in the distance you can see a kind of a small sign that hangs on the door that you can't read from where you're currently stepping.
Okay.
Sure be a mighty fine place here. I imagine Mr. Bartholomew is quite at home here.
As you whistle, it echoes. It, 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 echoes strangely in the room above. The room is large and has, well, good acoustics, but a little bit exaggerated.
That's a cool trick. Echo! 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 Echo!
You approach.
Well, no other way in, shall we?
As you begin sort of walking up, you hear something akin to static. Just, hello? I think someone's here. Hello? Can you hear me? All of this voice, it speaks to you directly into your mind.
Hello, mind.
Well, now, is that Mr. Bartholomew?
Someone made it. Okay, you're not too late. The trial is still going on. I'm doing my best. Well, the proceedings are just about to begin, and things are not looking very good. I need your help. Who else is here? Who are you?
You don't know Sonny?
Well,
Sorry, very good. Who else is here? Sound off.
well, I'll have you know, I am Samuel Shortrest, Esquire, here at your service, Mr. Bartholomew.
I saw your name on the listings. Very good. And anyone else? Is Kurogon here? Or Switch? Or Roger? Is Roger here?
Oh no, those guys are often embarrassing.
They're a bit busy at the moment.
Not quite the C team, we're like the D team.
Well, we will...
D for dancing.
Oh, come on now, we're that A for effort, I do believe.
D for dancing. Dancing's
You
better.
don't spell effort. Effort doesn't start with an A, it starts with an E. So that's correct the whole time.
Oh, come now, we're still Team A for effort.
You've been on an
I'm
adventure
saying-
before, great. Okay, well, what needs to be done has not changed. Of course, you will be paid in full. You are moving into a dangerous area. The full power of the Nightmare Court. Are you in the hallway?
No. We're
No.
upstairs.
Where did you say you were?
Upstairs?
Oh, did you start walking up the stairs?
No, I'm still in the hallway.
Okay. He goes, okay. Well, once you reach the top, you should see, you'll see the courtroom. I've been handcuffed, and those handcuffs are preventing me from using the barest of minimums of my magic. That's how I'm communicating with you telepathically now. I need you to get those handcuffs off of my wrists, by any means necessary.
Sure.
Where are you?
I'm in the courtroom, up ahead. Or
So,
below.
like, are you on the
wait,
bottom
wait.
floor?
You should be able to
Dude,
see
to
me
be
if
aggressive.
you're up at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
How does one go about getting these handcuffs off? Is it a simple matter of finding the key, or can we simply, to use a turn of phrase, bust you out?
Well, I believe that the bailiff will have the key. If you try and bust me out, I have no doubt that the full might of the Nightmare Court will be levied upon you immediately, and you will be, evaporated.
Do you have suitable legal counsel? Could we come in under such a guise?
There's, an old friend of mine by the name of Philip is here at the moment, who's going to be representing me. I do not recommend walking in the front door of the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
That is a fair assessment.
No, upstairs is the better option. Okay.
The keys are currently in the possession of the bailiff. You won't be able to, it's an arcane lock. You won't be able to get them off otherwise, unless you have some very high-level abjuration magic, which I do not believe is the case in this instance. Get the keys. You'll have to get past the things there and get to me, which may be, please help. And that's kind of where Bartholomew leaves you.
So what he's saying is, essentially,
he does not respond to that.
I think we're pretty fucked. I mean,
No, we're
Well,
not.
we don't seem to be up a creek without a paddle, but to say we're fucked, I do believe we still have several options on our table, sir.
Can we stop talking and just start walking? Come on.
Better we put our feet to work than our lips.
yeah, we can't just fucking barge in there.
Upstairs,
writing
he
a
said.
song,
Let's
you gotta have
go.
the melody first. You can't just fucking strum the guitar until it makes fucking loud noises.
I said, let's go.
Okay, come on, let's go.
As Sunny kind of all of a sudden grows a little bit darker for a moment. And Sunny, you kind of go up to the door. You see the small sign hanging on the door. It says "Court in Session," and you turn and walk up. Do you want to go up the staircase on the right or left?
Let's go up the right one.
Sounds good in my book.
Right is right.
If I'm gonna die,
I
I'm
wonder if
gonna
you
die
can put
fighting.
nightmares to sleep.
You begin kind of walking your way up the stairs. Are you guys moving stealthily, or are you just kind of stepping at this point?
Hopefully.
To
let's
fall
do stealth.
through such a...
Stealthily, as much as possible.
Yes, stealthily.
Oh, burp, 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 burp.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, Sunny, are you just not stealthing? Oh, okay.
Team. We're all stealth.
Oh, yeah,
I-
sorry, you rolled. Oh, yeah, you rolled the 6. Okay. Between Sunny, you're kind of like giggling as you're walking up the stairs, not moving too much. But your parties are stealthy enough, and they kind of like one of them puts their hand over your mouth and kind of shh. And on the whole, your party succeeds as you're kind of creeping up the steps. The slow kind of echoing sound as you move up them. You move into the courtroom, and you see quite a few things. Where you stand now, you are up in the rafters. The boards, kind of these heavy oaken boards, crisscross over the kind of the top of the courtroom proper, where sitting at a podium you can see, well, the judge of the Nightmare Court sitting and kind of speaking. Before you kind of, I say what he says, you see a few other things. You see a jury set up on the side of the room. The jury appears to also be just copies of the Nightmare Court, clones, but each of them wears a mask, and that mask appears to be in the face of Bartholomew. There are various bailiffs in the space, all of them more kind of smaller forms of this massive nightmare entity that none of you have seen since it crashed the Bartholomew charity fundraiser event quite a while ago. At this point, sitting amongst the kind of bleachers, you see various things that actually none of you would recognize, but odd creatures sitting there kind of watching, and Bartholomew sits at a bench kind of in front of the main podium where the judge rests, with a skeletal lawyer at his side. You guys, as you walk into the space, you can hear for the first time the judge speaking, and the judge seems to be reading the list of accusations levied against Bartholomew at this time.
Bartholomew, you stand accused of bribery, burglary, embezzlement, extortion, operation under false pretenses, intellectual property infringement, manslaughter, murder, possession of stolen goods, racketeering, robbery, smuggling, tax evasion, and wrongful imprisonment. How do you plead?
Skeletal lawyer by his side kind of speaks up. Bartholomew pleads innocent on all counts!
As expected. Then the case will proceed to trial. In light of Bartholomew's numerous crimes, the defense will not be given an opportunity to call witnesses.
Objection!
Overruled!
And you watch at this point as the skeleton kind of deflates, and he goes, "Damn!" He turns to Bartholomew. "Well, the defense rests. It seems I've done all I can do, Bartholomew. I think you're on your own on this one, Barty. Best of luck, old friend." Kind of pats Bartholomew on the back. "Of course there's got to be some kind of thing. He's used all of the legal counter moves I can possibly know. It seems that we've met our match."
Order in the court.
Sorry, Your Honor." And you watch as that skeleton kind of folds up the briefcase and turns and goes to kind of walk out of the courtroom. The four of you kind of stand now at the top as trials kind of continue. You see the leader of the prosecution, another attorney that looks, again, a smaller version of the larger nightmare court that rests behind the judge's gavel. He kind of walks up and begins to address the crowd. What are you guys doing as this is happening?
Okay, so he said no witnesses, so I have to finally go around this.
So now I'm unsure, but I must ask: do any of y'all here
Accident.
Do any of y'all here have an idea who this bailiff might be among so many similar faces?
Right. So here's my plan, guys. So if I put them all to sleep, they can't listen to the prosecutor, so they won't be convinced that he's guilty.
Well, to respond to the first thing, why don't you go ahead and make me a perception check? You were looking for someone that identified as the bailiff.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
All right, so for starters, as you're kind of looking around, it's really hard to make out any particularly unique individual amidst all of this kind of group, but you do, Sonny, as you're looking down, you can see a few people that match the description of bailiff. You can see a couple that are standing over behind kind of the judge's bench. You can see a couple that are standing on either side of the door at the main entrance, and you also notice one that's standing here amongst the rafters, with sort of their back to the wall, looking out over the court from above. And on that one's kind of hip, you can see a jangling ring of iron keys. This one is on the same height as you, and it appears to be something of a leader among the security, the way they have things set up, as it's over kind of viewing the area. But since you kind of entered from the side and to the right of it, it just assumes nothing is coming from there, and it has not noticed you, especially with your very good stealth rolls.
What is the armor class of the keys? Or what does it seem like the keys would be easy to hit?
They're on his hip, tied around his hip. It's a small target for certain. And as this is happening, the trial below continues to proceed. The counsel, as the judge kind of had referred to him before, steps up and walks over to the bench.
Counsel,
Thank you.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, over the course of the next few minutes, it is my intent to demonstrate to you, the good people here, just how cruel and calculating a man Bartholomew is. A man whose greed and insatiable desire for power has caused the loss of countless innocent lives. A man whose merciless gang of thugs have trampled upon the dreams of just as many. But rather than listen to myself speak on the subject, I believe it would be best to hear about it from those whom Bartholomew has most wronged. To begin, I would like to call the Baron Switch to the stand. And he turns and gestures towards the audience, and you watch as a man kind of stands out of the crowd. He's wearing noble's attire and begins walking over to the bench as a first witness has been called. Once all witnesses have been called, a verdict will be rendered, which means as the court proceeds, you do not have all that much time to get whatever it is that you're going to get done, and you can see that now. I'd like you all to roll for initiative.
Okay. Darn it.
As we're doing this, Sonny's gonna say, "Hey, I have a plan. I have a way that we could get the keys from a pretty good distance, but I might fail. So we need a secondary way of getting these keys."
Now,
He's shooting this thing in the head. As he says as he's aiming an arrow at this thing's head.
That's probably not the best option.
Don't do that.
Now, would you have a better chance of success on this endeavor of yours should you have some manner of distraction?
Yes.
Well, I am but a rookie, but I do believe immortality was one of the sign-in points of Bartholomew's troop. So, shall one of us create quite the meaningful distraction for our dear friend here, Mr. Sonny it was, yes?
Yeah.
You're the first to action, Samuel. Or Short. What do you wish to do?
I will consort with my compatriots here. So, shall we begin some manner of distraction?
Go for it. I would
Which
be.
which one of us should distract him?
Okay.
And as you're having this kind of conversation, you watch as that noble kind of has stepped over onto the podium, and the council goes up and speaks to him. Now, Baron Switch, I understand that you were amongst the first of the individuals that were most impacted by Bartholomew's, well, troop. Person responds, "Yes, I was among the first. I simply am a man of hobbies. I enjoy moving things around, changing them. Life is stagnant without change, and that man," he points with an anger at Bartholomew, "what he did to me, his minions, that Switch, the one of the same name. She took my name, and on the destruction of my future, they built theirs. It was terrible. They gained fame for tearing me apart and dragging me down, and I was cast aside to here. He should hang." And Baron kind of points. The council nods and, "Very good, Baron, very good." And what are you guys doing?
Alright, so we need a distraction, right?
Yeah, what's the distraction going to be?
Okay, let me check.
I am
Move
more
the
than
sky
willing
pit.
to offer myself up as a distraction in such a scenario as this.
Go do it. What are you doing?
I can give you my disguise kit. Alright.
Oh.
No, it's prepared to see not I'm. No, hold on. Never mind.
Keep in
But
mind,
my bad.
you have to be decisive here, as time is passing very quickly.
But now?
What's the play going to be, guys?
I think we can buy more time if we put the guy on the witness stand to sleep.
Go for it.
Alright. So how close is the judge to the witness stand?
The judge is immediately adjacent to the witness stand.
Him too. Unless I push him the right way.
Okay, go. Do it.
All right.
Hold on, okay, so it's all ready. Alright. So I tried to adjust it as best I can so that the that
Alright.
20-foot spear.
You begin kind of moving over and kind of creeping along the edge closer to where the judge is, alongside of the current witness that is testifying. As you go over, you're going to cast sleep on the judge and the person testifying?
Just witness.
Okay, just the witness. All right, go ahead and roll me the sleep spell.
Alright.
While this is happening, what is everyone else doing?
Sparkfang's keeping his arrows trained on the creature's head, who has the keys.
All right.
He's ready to let it fly. Should shit hit the fan.
Thorn whip onto the keys.
So I'm having
and-
problems sleeping. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. And Samuel?
Samuel.
Make sure you click on the front of your character sheet is the trick.
From my okay.
What's the plan, Samuel?
As a man of such few utilities, is simply drawing forth a whip, keeping it coiled as to limit the amount of tangle he can have, but preparing nonetheless.
Very well. In that case, in a sudden flurry of motion, all of you spring into action at once. At this point, the person that you're about to sleep is just getting off of the stand, and they're about to call the next individual. But you summon the sleep spell, and you watch as instantly the Baron switch falls over and collapses into a pile, now completely asleep and knocked out. Immediately, yes.
What are you doing? Get up and return to your place, or I will hold you in contempt of court.
Baron, I suggest you rise, the council speaks. A moment
Bring
passes.
him to his feet, bailiff.
One of the bailiffs steps over. Yes, sir, Your Honor, I will do so immediately. Goes over and grabs onto Baron Switch and kind of shakes him a little bit. And Baron Switch, that was strange. Very strange. The Baron kind of looks up into the rafters up above, as does the court. I would like all of you to make me another round of stealth checks. Or at the same time, though, I'm going to resolve all of these actions simultaneously, because you went out and threw a thorn whip at Keys.
Yeah.
The thorn whip flies out, and you come up just the barest of fraction away from the ring of Keys, and it kind of retracts back. You don't make contact with the person holding them, but you are very, very close. Are you letting your arrow fly?
Shit's hit the fan. Arrow's flying.
Okay.
Hold on, wait a sec. I have fright. If that hits.
Oh, you want to use your fright in this
Yep.
instance?
Yep.
Okay, very well. With a sudden bout of fright, you call upon the power sealed within the item that you have, and the thorn whip, you watch as the end of it holds in place for a moment, and it just grows out just a tiny bit more, wrapping around the key ring and dragging back into your hand. The arrow flies. With a 10, you watch as it kind of strikes into the side of the bailiff's, kind of right into the side of the bailiff's head, but it just kind of grazes off the back, and the bailiff kind of turns and looks. What have we here? As shit has definitely hit the fan. You have the keys in your hand. Nah, stealth is out the window at this point. When he's getting shot in the head with an arrow, he's looking your direction. And the court, the judge, the attention of the judge is absolutely drawn in this moment.
Oh, adventurers! I should have assumed.
How far away?
Sit and watch the proceedings, or you will leave, and I will hold you all in contempt of court.
Oh, I'd like to sit and watch, please. I didn't know I was invited.
Very well. Then sit.
Oh, okay. Can I sit down there? I want a really good spot.
Sit!
Okay. So he sits down.
And Your Honor, this little flower, well, they wrestled my keys from me. Please tell them to return the keys.
Return the keys.
And the bailiff holds out their hand.
How about no? And I disengage and run down the stairs.
Then I hold you all in contempt of court.
Does the court bang the gavel down onto the...
With a slam of the gavel.
The gavel strikes into the podium, and from it, a huge wave of force pours out from where the court is standing, very similar to one, again, that you saw during the festival. All of you find where you're standing. Wind sort of picks up and just pushes you. You are thrown... Sonny, you're already running down the stairs, but you're thrown farther down the stairs.
Thanks for the help!
You reach down to the bottom, along with those of you who were there. That would be Runefang. That would be Runefang, Short.
Sparkfang.
I'm sorry, Sparkfang. My dearest apologies. Sparkfang, Short, and Mavek, who casted Sleep as well. Actually, Short, you're still kind of hanging back, and he's not necessarily aware of you yet. So 3 of you get thrown down the stairs. Along with you, the bailiff flies out and is now kind of just buffeted by it, it seems, almost, rather than kind of tossed and tumbled around as you were. I need all of you to make me, for one thing, strength saving throws.
Okay.
Except for Short, who's actually unaffected by this.
Oh my.
And meanwhile, from the courtroom,
Yes.
you hear the voice call out.
Enough of these distractions. Counsel, you may call the next witness.
My apologies. I will. The prosecution would call Bradus Deadwalker to the stands.
Short, being the only one left in the room, sees a creature, undead in nature, of short stature, maybe a dwarf, maybe a human, not entirely certain. It sallies up toward the stand, legs kind of sprawled apart in a very frontiersy kind of scrolling method. Over their shoulder, there's a very large bandolier or holster of some kind, holding a sparkling, shined weapon, a gun. The man walks forward, a little piece of buckwheat stuck in between his teeth. He picks it out, flicks it on the ground. Yes, Your Honor. Counsel, thank you for having me.
Yes, Bradus. It has been our understanding that for some time you have been at odds with Bartholomew.
I have been at odds with Bartholomew for quite a while. However, to this tax evasion and other crimes, I cannot personally corroborate. However, he is a machine of death, of murder, of destruction, the likes of which this world hath never known. My point? My own gun. And he unholsters the sawed-off, double-barrel, arcane shotgun. This weapon, a tool only used to kill, created by that very man.
And as Bradus continues to testify, the rest of you have been thrown outwards, back down in front of the doors at the stead of the stairs, and next to you, the bailiff from which you originally took the keys. You still have them in your hand at this point, Sonny, but now this bailiff looks down at you, and it looks like we're gonna have to deal with the rats.
I'm not a rat, I'm a flower, okay?
And we've returned to initiative, and the bailiff is going to step into said initiative. Those of you who failed... that was to GM, my apologies. Those of you who failed that strength saving throw, and that would have been actually just Sparkfang. Sparkfang, you just took 3 points of damage as you were slammed into a wall.
This is why I hate courthouses. They're too fucking small for me.
And that is going to bring us to Sam Short. What's it going to be?
Now, Mr. Sonny, I'm gonna need those keys to get to Sir Bartholomew before we are running out of time.
Okay.
And I will simply call that out and
So you're gonna, because you weren't actually thrown down the stairs with everyone else because he didn't know you were there. Do you run down the stairs and kind of say that to Sonny?
I kind of call that out after Sonny and just hope I can get the keys. And I am holding some very, very either lucky or absolute terrible ideas for my action involving a whip.
Okay.
All right. You get ready to grab the keys from Sonny. That's going to bring us next to the bailiff, who looks down at the group of you. Right now, you're actually all prone. Or actually, no, I'll say that the only one who's prone in this instance would be you, Sparkfang, because you failed the saving throw and everyone else kind of landed relatively on their feet. They're stable. And the bailiff kind of walks up to you, Sonny, twirls a nightstick in their hand a little bit. This creature made of just shadow, and goes and swings it down at you twice.
Okay. Ow! That hurt!
I say as I take the damage.
It shouldn't
Ow.
have been with advantage. It should have only been a 19, but I assume a 19 hits.
A 19 would hit, yeah.
That's 28 points of damage. Are you still okay?
No, that's 24, isn't it?
14 plus 14.
Oh, 28. Okay.
It rolled 2 11s, yeah.
Oof.
Pretty rough.
Sunny falls down.
Wow, alright. You watch as, with a kind of a sharp twirl of the nightstick.
But as Sunny's falling, Hellish Rebuke.
Absolutely, Hellish Rebuke.
Oh man.
Dexterity is not the bailiff's strong suit. Yeah, they fail. It take 11 points of damage as the nightstick cracks once, and you watch as Sunny stands dazed, cracks again. There will be order in the court, and right as the second strike hits, just an explosion of fire from the petals around Sunny's, kind of the top of Sunny's flower head, and he kind of burns, gets kind of steps back a couple of times, but Sunny collapses to the ground, now unconscious. That is all for the bailiff's turn. We move now to the next initiative, which would have been, well, everyone else is next, if I remember correctly. That would be Sunny, for starters. I need you making a death saving throw.
Of course. Here's my... There it is. I'll see it.
Where is Death Save?
It is
Under 10
right
base.
beside. It's right under. It's right beside your hit dice.
I forgot to
Oh,
forgot to change the music.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, pass. Yay.
You have one success. As we move on now to Maverick.
Oh no.
Maverick, what do you want to do? You
Since it worked so well the first time, so how close is the bailiff to me?
The bailiff is standing over Sunny, maybe 10 feet away from you.
Oh. Do I have room to back up?
A little bit. I mean, you can go back down the hallway that you first went in, which is pretty long. You got tons of room there.
Probably run
At least
and grab
like,
this key.
I'm gonna go back at least like 25 feet.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do sleep on this guy again.
All right. Go ahead and roll me your sleep. $11 hit points is not enough. He has significantly more hit points than that, unfortunately. You summon your sleep spell on the space where the bailiff is. For a brief moment, he kind of breathes in like the magical fog that appears. Turns and looks at you. I'm afraid I'm not the type to get drowsy, friend.
Fucked.
Anything else on your turn?
Still have half a movement left, right? Now how far are the move?
Well, you can move. You can have moved up to 30 feet. So if you want to have gone a full 30 feet away,
I'll go a
him,
full 30 away from that guy as far away as possible.
You run away in that case. That's going to bring us to Spark. Sparkfang, what do you want to do?
Oh, first up, stand up, and then shoot this bastard in the back.
All right, make me an attack roll. Oh, the arrow, you're kind of pulling it back, and it fumbles in the bow, the intensity of the moment kind of throwing you off. The creature's bearing down directly upon you as you stand right now. Anything else on your turn?
No, that is everything.
That is rough luck. Do you want to move, or do you want to just stay where you are?
He'll move closer so he can keep bow in one hand and draw his short sword.
Okay, you...
Just as a note, the keys are scattered upon the ground next to Sunny's unconscious body.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to initiative. That brings us to the round. From where you are, Short, you can hear the court proceedings continuing. You see this time, the council speaks. We call to the stand next one Marcus Flynn, alias known better as the Riddle Boy. And you watch as a very small child, dressed in kind of very nice very nice clothing. He wears the clothing of kind of nobility, which you can just kind of see through the thing, and he steps up to the very primly dressed small tie. He steps on the stage. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Council. I hope to be of help. The Council looks down at him. Now, Riddle Boy, if I may call you that, would you prefer Mr. Flynn? Riddle Boy's fine. Riddle Boy. Now, back when you were most engaged in your particular hobby, please describe to me, if you will, the same way that you described to me before when you were speaking, the manner in which Bartholomew's adventurers helped you. Yes, well, I love riddles. Well, that's how I got my name, and, well, I was sitting on top of my riddle tower, and they were just playing a fun game with me, and it was really fun, and they were going through my riddles, and some of them were too hard, but that's how riddles are sometimes, and then that big one, that fox sakes, he climbed up on top of the little dome I'd made for myself, and he smashed it open, and he started yelling at me in my face, and he just started screaming, and he was covered in blood, and he just kept doing it over and over again until I fainted and passed out, and then he just dragged me out of there and brought me to jail. The Council. Yes. No further questions. There's various gasps and sort of just horrified reactions from around the room as we move back to your turn in initiative. Short, what do you wish to do?
Now, y'all, I do imagine you understand the great implications of this mission. The keys are priority. Is the bailiff betwixt me and the keys?
No, the keys are behind you. They're behind Sunny, who is... the bailiff is between Sunny and Sparkfang. So you could run over and grab the keys at this instant if you wanted to. But you'd have to walk kind of down the stairs.
That should disengage.
How far away are the keys from Short?
About 20 feet.
I will go 20 feet, grab the keys, 5 feet away, and I will take the dash action to get back to where I started. And from there, I would like to actions... Oh no, I don't have action surge. Oh, I'm way ahead of where Short imagines his predecessors to be, as he ends his turn simply 30 feet away from where the keys were at the start of the turn.
Very well. That is going to bring us next in the initiative to our foe, who sees you kind of scampering off with the keys, and then is going to actually turn away from you, Sparkfang, because you would walk up right next to him, so that would probably provoke an opportunity attack from you, Sparkfang.
Oh yeah, he's 10 for stabby. No stabby.
All right. Sorry, my thing's freaking out on me. Oh yeah, an 8, unfortunately, just barely misses, actually. It doesn't seem like he has a lot of AC, but he has a good amount of health. He's very kind of beefy. As the bailiff begins stalking up after the stairs after you, you are short, and his legs, with each step, he takes 2, and he's going to make his attacks against you. Oh. Short, I assume that hits?
That does indeed hit, as Short falls unconscious.
And then a 19 and then a 12 on damage. He's rolled 3 11s and a 12.
Man, this boy's rolling hot.
He strikes you again while you're downed. That's 2 failed death saves.
Owie.
Yes, it is.
Oh, jeez. He turns and looks back down the stairs at those of you still out in the courtroom, or still outside of the courtroom, as... well, he doesn't have time to pick up the keys on his turn. There's certainly not time for that. That is going to bring us next in the initiative to... Yep, Sunny, you have 1 success and 1 failure on your death saving throws. Mavek, what would you like to do?
The panic starts setting in, and this all becomes very real. Okay. I have... One of the things I have in my inventory is a disguise for my my nice outfit for the orchestra. I'm both a heavy metal bard and an orc in the orchestra.
But of course.
And my stupid idea, I get like 2 pieces of my costume on. I'm gonna get my glasses and my hair tie. I'm gonna tie my hair back nice. Put my glasses. I'm going to dash. I'm going to dash into the courtroom as who's defender.
Will you get keys?
I'm gonna say
No,
now.
I don't have time for that. I'm going past it.
I'm gonna say now, like, as an action, I mean, to completely change your outfit and run over to the door and dash into it.
I'm not completely changing my outfit. I'm putting on a hair tie and glasses real quick. I'm not
Okay,
like actually changing into the costume fully.
Okay. In that case, yeah, that you can do. You tie up your hair, put on your glasses, and you just barge through the front court doors, the main court doors.
I can't objection.
All right. You do so. You run through the court doors and push them open, and you just say objection.
Automatically, was that the performance?
Yeah, make me a performance check.
What is this?
What does the court do?
Object what?
It seems that these witnesses have no solid proof.
Overruled. Bailiff, remove him.
You
Overrule you.
hear a voice from the top. Yeah, you hear a voice saying, "My apologies, I'm working on it, Your Honor." And at that point, that's probably all for your turn. That's going to bring us to Sparkfang. What's going to be Sparkfang? Your ally is down there in front of you. You've just heard the sound of Short collapsing far up above.
Sighing, it's like, I hope I didn't have to use this. And he will use Lightning Breath.
Oh, you're going to run up and just lightning breath the bailiff?
Yep.
All right. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw, correct? He definitely fails that. Roll
And then-
damage. 10 points of lightning damage. The lightning bolts spark and course outwards. As they do so. Oh, it looks like, as always, we've lost our Skype call. Hold on a second. Just a second. Jeremy, if you want to send it again.
I already did, Pete.
It's not coming through.
It says you're offline. You probably need to relog.
Okay.
Let's just keep moving in the meantime.
Yep. In that case, you kind of go up and lightning breath courses from your mouth, and as it does so, he kind of shocks, and you watch as his body kind of grows stiff for a brief moment, as it looks like he's kind of stunned by this lightning, and then he courses out of it. He's still not down. He's taken a good hit, and he's starting to look a little bit beat up. You watch as shadow seems to be leaking out of this particular bailiff's form in various places. And is that all for your turn?
Yes, it is.
All right. In that case, that is going to bring us to the top of the initiative. In this instance, you watch as the council walks over and kind of calls. Very good. At this point, I would like to call one Douglas to the stand.
You watch as a. Oh, can anyone even see it at this point?
I
Yeah,
believe
probably.
Sparkfang as well.
Can see. So Sparkfang, you see walking out from the seats, the bleachers, a unicorn, except the horn has been kind of sawed off at the end, and the body is mottled and kind of decaying, ribs exposed on one side. It is a truly wretched and horrifying sight. And the unicorn approaches and just starts, as they approach the stand, starts making horse noise.
Yes, the council responds, yes. I'm sorry, that must have been very traumatic for you.
It moves like a hoof up and points to the stub of a horn, and then points to Bartholomew.
And from what I hear, your glade was quite the tranquil place before Bartholomew sent those poachers to hunt you down.
It looks to the ground dejectedly.
Short, I need you to make me an important death saving throw. Short has 1 success and 2 failures. You cling to life.
I never was one to die easy.
That is going to then bring us to the bailiff, which reaches down and picks up the keys from the ground next to you, walks down the steps towards... Or actually, no, he doesn't have to walk down the steps. You're right next to him, Sparkfang. He's going to attack you with his nightstick. 16?
That hits.
Does it take you down?
Yep.
He strikes
no.
He strikes again.
And that's 2 automatic failures.
Yep.
No.
As I need everyone who needs to make a death saving throw to make one. It's Sunny. You have 2 failures.
Oh no!
Oof.
And another failure for Sam Short. 1 remains. 1 individual at this point. As... Oh wait. Sam Short. You didn't have to make yours... Well, it's happened. Sam, in this moment, you breathe your final breath. That is going to... yes, indeed. That is going to bring us to the top of the initiative, which was Sam. I need you, Sparkfang. You didn't make your death saving throw, Sparkfang. I need you to make one too. And Sparkfang also breathes his last in this instance. The top of... and what were you going to do on your turn, Davik? Wait, what did I just say? I said Mavek, sorry.
So, bear with me for a second. So, while I can, I'm going to try to make the most convincing and most arousing testimony for can manage out of all the things that I know. Trying to perform it up with my performance. I'm a bard and I'm going to try to convince them with my dramatic performance. Have them plead innocence for Bartholomew. So do I add fright before I roll or after I roll?
You would roll and then add fright.
And roll. I'm just like, Bartholomew is such a great guy. He's such a cool dude. It's fake news. So I'm going, and this is very tearful, very dramatic. I'm really pouring my heart into this.
All right.
I had my 10 from fright, so
that's a 29. How does the court react?
They should be feeling for Bartholomew right now. They should think he's such a great guy that he couldn't have done this.
Very touching. But you were not called as a witness.
A witness, Your Honor. I was the secondary defender after the last one left.
What is being done, young adventurer, is what must be done.
You watch as the bailiff kind of puts a hand on your shoulder, kind of walks over next to you, Mavek, and looks down at you. Would you care to take a seat, my friend?
I kind of begrudgingly nod and sit down.
Bartholomew would not have made us this way if it were not to be this way.
And
Counsel,
I tried.
next,
And try to give
witness.
keys.
and the council.
I'm not good enough for that.
You're standing next to the bailiff, and the bailiff does have the keys, and it seems that from the kind of quality of your performance there, they've decided to not just brutally arrest you here, but the trial proceeds. over the next few moments, you watch as more witnesses are called. First, I would call the Rhyme Slime to the stand. Mr. Slime, you watch as this big kind of gooping mask rolls over. It speaks kind of in a bit of a joking voice. Its response is entirely done in rhyme. As it speaks, it feels out of context. That someone can have so much levity here on the stand in the light of, well, what you've just seen happen to your allies and what is to happen to the leader of your group. The Rhyme Slime hops off the stage. Another witness is called. Seen next, two sisters walk up to the stage, witches, and they kind of speak with the council. My good madams, tell the court about how Bartholomew has mistreated you.
Oh, just one moment. We're missing our third sister, poor Susan. She was bludgeoned absolutely to pieces by them.
It was absolutely terrible. I can't believe it.
Awful.
Completely dreadful.
They've stolen her levity of youth and beauty from her.
Nothing is too good for that Bartholomew.
Please, Susan, join us.
You watch as a kind of a fragmented cauldron kind of walks up. It looks like it's been put together with glue as it kind of moves up in front of the podium. And
poor sister.
Bartholomew should be poisoned.
He should be strung up.
He should be skewered.
And hanged.
Nothing would be too good.
Nothing at all. Tarred and feathered, and then buried 6 feet under.
And they are eventually brought off the stage. Their testimony continues for a time. You see a familiar that you have seen before, as he is famous in the lands of DnDTime. You watch as, wearing a neck brace and a leg cast, walking on crutches up to the podium, a lich by the name of Lemic, as he is called to the stand.
So I get clemency for this, right?
Please just...
I know I brought him here, but... I want out.
You will be out. Please testify.
Alright, well, you can all see what they did to me. My neck, I'm a skeleton. And look what they did, my neck is broken. I can hardly even cast prestidigitation anymore. Terrible, they're bad people. Absolute awful.
That is fine, Lemic. You may take a seat. As this is happening, Mavek,
Sonny's not dead yet.
do you have any actions that you try and take or over the
Sonny
so
still has
I-
death save.
Oh wait, a death save that
Sonny's
hasn't
not
happened yet?
dead.
Sonny still has a
Yeah.
death save. It's been the equivalent of 3 rounds, so roll them up.
Okay. Well, I already rolled 1,
You have 2 successes and 2.
and then that's the 3rd. Oh no!
I'm sorry, Sonny. Sonny breathes. Sonny breathes
Oh, yeah.
last out in the hall.
There was one.
Mavek, did you have an action that you wanted to try and take?
Alright, so I'm sitting down. I assume there's going to be at least few of the jury looking at me, just glancing at me occasionally. I'm going to look as sad as I possibly can. And as disappointed and distraught as I possibly can.
Okay. You just kind of sit, crying
Drawn up
somewhere,
symphony, you know what I'm saying?
but of course, you sit there next to the bailiff, just kind of weeping and bemoaning Bartholomew's fate at each turn and that of your fallen friends. And that is that all that you're going to do, or are you trying to use this, or are you at this point you just trying to draw any sympathy, or
I'm trying to draw sympathy so I can try to get the jury to think that he's innocent.
Okay. And you kind of are making quite of a show of it, but it looks like, I mean, the jury is comprised of the same thing that makes up the rest of the creatures, and they seem far more moved by the testimonies of, well, the testimonies that you've heard. The council goes up and I call as our final witness Bartholomew to the stand. Bartholomew, if you could stand and rise. Bartholomew walks over, still in shackles, and kind of seats himself down. And the council looks at him and says, Bartholomew, you have heard testimonies that have been levied against you. What do you have to say for yourself? Bartholomew kind of looks up. I'm sorry. I didn't know when I created you that you weren't meant to be this. You were meant to be a place to contain these creatures, these horrible things. I didn't mean for you to develop in the way that you have, and I didn't know that this is what you were. I'm sorry.
Bartholomew, it is not about knowing. It is about doing. You may know when you have done wrong, but you have done it.
And you watch as a member of the jury walks over with a small slip of paper, hands it to the stenographer, which heads it up to the judge.
A verdict already? Whatever could it be? As I expected. Guilty on all charges.
Please, we can improve your situation.
Yes,
You don't have to be here.
we can.
And you watch as the bailiff walks over with the nightstick. The nightstick kind of grows as shadow curls out from it, and it changes into that of an executioner's axe, which the bailiff deftly swings around once, and with...
But before this happens,
Yes? What do you do?
once more with passion, I'm going to try sleep
All
on
right.
the bailiff.
All right, go
Judge,
ahead.
will be hit by that too?
The judge has way more hit points than that.
Try to, on this thing just in case.
Go ahead
I think
and...
up on the lowest number anyway. Not much I can do at this point.
Okay. Yes. You watch as the bailiff kind of turns as it hits him, looks at you. Just, as I said before, we don't get tired.
I shrug.
The
There
axe,
will be no trick.
the axe turns. He swings it once deftly, and then, with very little ceremony, no more words spoken, the head of Bartholomew is removed in one fell sweep. His body kind of crumbles down to the ground. The head rolls for a brief moment across the floor. The assembled villains look on. They don't cheer. Even Lemek, normally outspoken, normally would be parading at this point, is quiet and just sits in stunned silence.
It is done.
And with that, the the bailiff kind of turns and looks down towards you, Mavek. And with that, this adventure will be coming to a close.
Darn.
Be gone, adventurer. Leave this place and never return.
Please stand by for an important message from Bartholomew's emergency broadcast system.
Seems completely unnecessary, Roger. Why would there ever be a circumstance in which...
Bartholomew, start the thing. We're rolling.
Oh, yes. Greetings, adventurers. If you're hearing this... Roderick, are you sure that it's on?
Oh my god, Bartholomew, how old are you? These things have been around for decades. Look, the little red light, it's on. That means it's recording.
Roderick, I mean, if you say
oh my
so,
god,
but...
let's just start it over. Oh.
No, it's fine. We're not going to use this thing ever. Anyway, let me begin. Greetings, adventurers. If you're hearing this... Actually, adventurers isn't quite right. This is going out to everyone in the world, yes?
Roger.
Very good. Greetings, land of DnDTime. If you're hearing this, it means that I, Bartholomew, have become incapacitated, died, or have simply encountered something beyond my capabilities. Of course, as you're no doubt rightly assuming, I can't really be defeated, but somehow a threat has emerged that is proven strong enough to belay me for a time, which means that this threat is likely able to single-handedly decimate the whole of the land of DnDTime, if it so desires, and is probably going to do so in my absence. This means that the only hope for our world's survival is you, and whomever else that has not already been killed already by whatever horrifying thing is rampaging throughout our world. Yes. Regardless of all that, in the upcoming days it will not be the efforts of the few that make the difference. Amongst our adventuring troop we have often championed the heroism of the particularly mighty, but this occasion will call for every hero and every citizen to band together and fight as one. All of that being said, if it killed me, the chances of your success are close enough to zero to be negligible. So also take this time to say farewell to loved ones and cross any last-minute items off of your bucket list that you can.
Whoa, Bartholomew, whoa! You cannot end on something like that. You gotta do better. Something maybe inspiring, like, take heart if you believe in yourselves and each other. Even the weakest of individuals can accomplish incredible things as a team.
Yes, well, in any case, the coming days will shape the history of this world for all time. So, good luck, and,
That's the best you're gonna do. Good luck.
Yes, yes.
Alright, we got it. Bartholomew, you should really do this again. Maybe lighten the tone a little bit here.
Hey, Bartholomew, I'm really surprised. I didn't expect you to actually die. Wow, what a twist. Pete and Jeremy are really making it interesting this year.